The New Zealand alpine bush. Extraordinary, beautiful. Every year, hundreds of people go out into these hills. And every year, some die here. They die from ignorance of what is the major killer in the New Zealand bush and tussock country. Accidental hypothermia, exposure to cold. The pattern is familiar. This small story in a paper is the next day more concerned. And the following day, everything is explained. In this case, the tramper was found because another tramper came staggering out of the bush telling police that, firstly, the missing man was in a hut, and secondly, that the two companions he was with had died from exposure. All other deaths from exposure are frighteningly the same. But what about the cause of exposure? Well, the basic cause of exposure centers round the temperature of the body. Ray Henwood.
The temperature of the body remains constant at 37 degrees centigrade or 99 degrees Fahrenheit. The surface of the skin may be allowed to get cooler, but the central temperature must remain the same. The basic cause of exposure is a drop in this central temperature. This can occur in several ways. By a radiation loss, mainly from the head. By convection, where we have the wind driving in here and ripping away this warm layer of air. If we add rain to the wind, this cooling power is greatly increased. Firstly, there is an added loss by evaporation. Secondly, water flowing over the surface of the skin sucks out the heat by direct conduction. Thirdly, water ruins the insulation value of clothing. Once this central temperature has dropped, the symptoms and signs of exposure soon begin to appear. They're often mistaken for fatigue, and the victim usually doesn't recognize his own plight. He will have difficulty keeping up with the rest of the party. He will show signs of fatigue and anxiety. He will get muscular cramps and a feeling of unreality. Finally, his vision will be poor. To the observer, the victim will lag behind. His speech will be slurred, and he'll show abnormal behavior. At first, aggressive and irrational acts, finally, apathy and indifference. He will be clumsy, often stumbling and repeatedly falling. Finally comes collapse, often with convulsions, before he falls into a coma. After collapse, the situation is grave. Death often ensues within 2 or 3 hours. The combination of wind, rain, and cold is dangerous. Add to these inadequate clothing, and the stage is set for an exposure death.
Thomas Coogan, 22. With 4 friends, he has come to the Mount Kenneth area for a 2-day tramp. He plays a lot of sport and is reasonably fit, but he has never been in the hills before. Angela Pickford, his girlfriend. She came because Thomas said she should. Roger Fairbanks. He's always been keen on the hills and on tramping, but he's never been out much. He doesn't know enough to be leading this party. Mary Fairbanks, his wife. She's also keen on the hills and for quite a while has been meaning to learn a bit about safety in the mountains. Somehow she's never got round to it. Peter Bow, he wasn't planning anything else for this weekend, so when Thomas asked him along, he came. Because these 5 people are almost entirely ignorant of the dangers inherent in the mountains, Thomas Coogan will, tomorrow night, be dead.
Come on, please. I'll have the one on the top.
Can you get up now? We want to get going soon.
Roger. What do you think of the weather out here?
Oh, it doesn't look
it's all right, I suppose. It's clear above us.
Yeah, the cloud seems, you know, hardly moving at all. I think we'll be right.
But isn't the noise bad?
Oh, sometimes, but there doesn't seem to be any movement in the cloud. I think we'll be right.
Oh, okay, we'll have breakfast.
Yeah.
I won't have any, thanks, Mary.
Oh, you better have something. Perhaps an egg.
No, just tea, thanks.
Okay.
Have you two decided where we're going today?
Oh, day trip.
All day?
Whereabouts?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Oh, it's not nice up
Oh,
there.
it's not all quite an interesting ridge up there. Oh, we'll be back about...
How far is it?
4:30.
Yes, but how far is it?
Oh, it's hard to tell.
Oh, I'll go up to the top so you get a terrific view up there. See the
You
mountains.
like that? Trudger. No. I'll stick to tea. I've got to bolster myself up. It's not a small trip we're going on today.
Better?
Come on, we've got to get on our way soon.
I'm not going.
What do you mean you're not?
I'm not coming. I told you before.
You were all for it in the beginning. We get here and now you're not coming up the hill.
Of course. But my legs are sore and I'm not going up there with sore legs.
Why not? You haven't been carrying anything? You've been lazing about half the time?
Oh,
Andrew?
rubbish. I walked
It
about
won't hurt
5
you.
ago.
Do your medical.
I don't mind staying.
Fine,
behind.
No, it's okay, thanks. No, you go on. I'll be all right.
Yeah, you can still come. You can still come. It's all right.
I'll go to hell.
Don't know why she came. I suppose it was mostly your idea.
Yeah, it was in the beginning, but I'm getting fed up with her now.
Never mind about it. Look, she can make some tea and get the dinner on by the time we get
But
back.
I still think she should have come. She'll be moping around in that hut all day.
Look, forget it. She was tired and she probably wouldn't have made it anyway.
Yeah.
Hell, that cloud seems to be moving in pretty fast.
Oh, it'll be all right. I think we may as well press on. Well, we've come this far anyway. I think it'll be okay. Right, we may as well get going now.
Hey, Roger, see what I mean about these clouds moving in? Shouldn't we be going down soon?
Yes, but
It doesn't look very nice, Roger. I think we should be going down soon, don't you?
Oh, yes,
And
but
the weather's a lot colder now, too.
Well,
There's always other days.
Yes, oh, okay. Well, we can go down here. It looks much easier than the way we came up. And just get out into the bush and on the lake shore, and then we can go right round to the hut.
Oh, no, it's the wrong bloody way.
Oh, dear. We should have kept to the track. Come on, we've got to go back up.
Oh, good. It seems as though the mist is clearing further up.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. We should be out of it fairly soon.
Hey, you two. Hang on a minute. What's the matter, Tom? Are you okay?
I've had it.
Well, look, there isn't much further to go up the ridge there, you know.
I can't go on.
Well, look, I've got some brandy. Hang on a moment.
Okay.
Stop now, not here. We've all had it. We've got to get back to the hut.
Yeah.
Well, don't sit there. Get up now.
Shout at me.
Oh, come on, get going.
I can manage by myself.
try and sit him up.
Is he hurt?
No, I don't think so,
All right. All right. I'm all right. Just let me stay here.
Hurt?
No, he's not hurt. I don't know what's wrong, but we'll have to carry him. Peter, could you give us a hand? Oh, the lake. That's good.
Yeah, and the rain.
Is it raining again? Oh, no.
Are you all right?
Hey, look, Roger, I'll take him for a while.
Yeah, all right.
Been ages. What happened?
Take us.
Give me a hand, Peter.
He's up here.
Roger.
Frozen. Oh. I got a bruise.
Do you swear by Almighty God the evidence you're about to give touching the matter of the death of Thomas Leslie Coogan shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
What food did you take for the trip?
Oh, we just had some raisins, chocolates, and nuts all sort of mixed together in a bag.
Did you have any woolen clothing?
Well, Mary and I did. We walked to the tops in shorts and then changed when we got up there because a bit of a wind had come up. Peter and Tom just wore what they had, jeans and a parka. Oh, Peter did have a hat, though.
Thank you, Mr. Fairbanks.
My name is Dr. Gantz. I'm a pathologist practicing in Nelson. As stated in my report, the deceased appeared to be quite sound physically. There was no sign of any injury or disease. In my opinion, he died from hypothermia, exposure to cold. The deceased had had no breakfast, and this denied the body of one of its major sources for body heat. His clothing was inadequate, particularly his lack of anything with which to cover his head when the weather deteriorated. Add to this the rain and the exhausting climb up the ridge that they'd gone down by mistake. Heat from the body was being drawn out very rapidly. It would be on this climb up the ridge that the first signs of exposure would appear. The brandy that was given to him at this point would have pepped him up for a little bit, but actually it would have worsened his condition.
The coroner found that Thomas Coogan died of exposure. As we have seen, this occurs in persons improperly clad in cold, wet, and windy conditions. So if the weather forecast is bad or the weather signs are ominous, don't go. If the weather deteriorates during the trip, think ahead. If it's too risky to go on, turn back or find shelter. Whatever you do, make the decision immediately. If you do decide to push on, watch out for signs of exposure in the party, especially amongst the stragglers. Undue fatigue, clumsiness, mental changes all indicate that exposure is striking. In early cases, shelter, dry clothing, warm drinks and food will often save lives. And stay under cover. Recovery often takes some time. These early signs are the only warning. If the party pushes on and ignores these signs, then one or more will collapse from exposure. Stop and find shelter. Put the victim into warm clothing. Put him in a sleeping bag with a fit companion so that body heat may be transferred and the victim warmed up slowly. Make sure he stays at absolute rest, for full recovery may take up to 2 days. Never force the victim to walk. Never give alcohol. Never give fluids or food to an unconscious person. Never try to heat the victim rapidly.
Rapid heating will cause the warm blood to flow to the cold skin layer, then return chilled, and this further reduces the core temperature.
For wet, wind and cold, substitute shelter, rest, warm clothes and food.
And don't forget this, never ever be afraid to turn back.
But the important thing to remember is the best way to beat exposure is to stop its ever starting. And this begins at the planning stage. Pick a good leader. He is fit. Take proper clothing. Shorts are all right for fine weather, but be prepared for cold. You need warm clothing. Long pants, hat, gloves, parka, waterproof overpants, sleeping bag, and a sleeping bag cover. Before you go, have a good breakfast, preferably hot. Take plenty of food with you and extra for emergencies. You must keep up your central body temperature. So, 1, don't go if the weather looks bad. 2, be prepared. Take plenty of clothing and plenty of food. All you have to do is to use your common sense. After all, it's such a stupid way to die.